Hey, ho, ho, ho. It's 3 days before Christmas. Oh, it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. But we're doing a special Christmas week. So it'd be December 22nd today, Tuesday. And it's getting crazier and crazier. It's been crazy. Now you're running around with all that last minute stuff. Today I'm going to talk about loneliness and a few other aspects of the holiday. There's a lot of lonely people out there for one reason or another. In fact, there's people who are surrounded by people and are lonely. And there's a whole series of classes that I'll be doing in the new year dealing with that specifically. But what I want to address with you guys today, as far as loneliness goes, is the fact that keeping in mind that you have single friends, you have just divorced friends, just separated, just widowed. Keep these people in the back of your mind. Sometimes they may be a little gruff, they may be a little, that whole Ebenezer Scrooge thing going. Think about them. Invite them over for an eggnog. Invite them over to your party. If you're having a cookie swap, don't forget them. It's really easy in our society to couple up. I know I've been married and divorced, and when you're a couple, there's a lot of couples activities. And suddenly, when you're not a couple anymore, sometimes it seems a little awkward or a little uncomfortable, or the people think you're going to feel uncomfortable, so don't invite you. It's complicated. People overthink everything. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Sit down, do that, do that Santa Claus thing again, where you make your list and check it twice. Think of everybody, be it, the crazy uncle, be it the crazy aunt, be it that one cousin that's, kind of an outcast, friends, relatives, people that, you have a few orbits, in your world. You have the, your close group, and then you have, look 2 or 3 steps out from that main core of friends, and see if you have any singles, any lonely quote people. Don't make a big deal about it. Don't say, hey, you're probably lonely. Just invite them over. Invite them for a meal. Invite them for a drink. Maybe just get a group of people, go out for a drink, and invite them. It's really awkward for a single to do some of these things. Also keep that in mind for New Year's if you're having a little gathering at your house. Now, if you're one of these single lonely people, I've got a sneaky way for you to plant the seed. Forward this to people you know. Many. Make sure that when you do that, you don't use BCC or UCC, so that they can see that you sent it to a bunch of people, because it makes it seem more sincere that you're actually sending it to a bunch of different people because you think it's really cool. And make a note of that, but you're planting a seed. We like to plant seeds. But it's important that you recognize that you've got to go and do something. I mean, good intentions are just that. They're good intentions. Without actions, they're useless. In The Secret, they keep talking about visualizing. What they don't do is they don't get into step 2, which I think they do talk in the second movie, which is just out now. Once you visualize it, you got to take action. The one guy who says he visualizes a good parking place. Well, the action he takes is he goes and looks for the parking spot. There you go. I mean, it works real well for him. But the gist of it is you have to take action. So realize there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of little parties. There's, if you're one of these lonely people, it's really hard to go out. I understand that. Now, I'm going to go back in time a few years. A few years ago, my divorce was final. I bought a house. I moved in. My birthday's the day after Christmas, so consequently, I had one of those traumatic, birthdays ended in a 0, ended in a 5. All at the same time. It was horrible. I didn't feel like going up. Everybody, I was radioactive at the time because I just got divorced and nobody knew how to deal with that. That's all nonsense, by the way. If you have friends who are divorced, they're not radioactive, they're not lepers, they're still your friends. They need you more than ever. Make sure that you, include them. And it's tough to make a choice. If it's a really ugly divorce, then yeah, you're going to have to make a choice. If it's an amicable kind of thing, then maybe not. It's tough, it's tough. Tomorrow we're going to talk about paradigm shifts. Things like, suddenly you're married, suddenly you're divorced, suddenly you're, there's an illness or a death or a separation where there's people missing. We're going to talk about that and ways to overcome that yourself and as a group. There's a lot of dynamic problems with that, but the gist is that's something we've got to, we'll talk about tomorrow. But the loneliness thing, the fact that, you suddenly have a birthday, or, you've just had a birthday with a 0 or a 5, and that's crazy. That can be absolutely, disheartening. Then you come into the holidays, being single can be tough. I mean, it can be great fun, but, all in all, you're a one. And it's nice to have, to be as involved with a group. So, get out there. Find people, call your friends, email your friends. Make sure that, you're out there letting people know that you're alive and well. Facebook, if you're involved with Facebook, or, is a good outlet to find out what's going on. And if you are a couple, if you are a group, and you remember, as you go orbit out, some of these people that have been forgotten, who are single and probably lonely. Now, sometimes they can put on a good air, but they're not. But when in doubt, invite them anyway. I mean, it's always better to err in their benefit than to just say, oh, they're fine. Because, that's not the case. People have good armor. There's a lot of good armor. And once again, there's stuff I will be talking about in the future about, shedding your armor or working around your armor, or how to slowly remove your armor. But that's a New Year thing. So, make that list, check it twice, make sure you figure out who's out there who needs, needs some time, needs some attention, needs a meal, needs a drink, needs something. Once again, as always, have the most spectacular day. Ho, ho, ho.